Hi folks, so the question we're doing today guys is based on the chapter on quadrilaterals in the World of Graphics textbook, page 65, and specifically the question we're doing is this one, question 8 here on the Roadbridge logo. Okay, so we can see obviously the lettering here, but the logo is actually up here in the top right hand corner, and we can see the line diagram with the measurements down here. So it says Roadbridge is an engineering and construction company. Its logo is based on quadrilaterals and parallel lines. Reproduce the logo to the given dimensions. Okay, so anytime I'm kind of doing one of these questions, what I often like to do is, depending on the question, okay, and the shape it takes, I often sometimes, if you look at this one, it almost makes a rectangle. So what I would work out is my overall length, which is 190, and my overall height, which is 86. And I would construct a box, basically a construction box, that all of this kind of information is going to fit inside. And then I'll put in my various heights and my various lengths going along. And obviously we can see here we have certain angles that we're going to have to encounter as well. Okay, so following this and following the measurements, we're going to complete that logo there now. Okay. So with that in mind, what I'm going to start with is constructing my box, and as I said previously, it was 190 millimeters long. So just fix up that there. So about 190 long. I was thinking there, yeah, about there. So roughly to there, that would be my 190. So I pick a start point right here. I'm going to measure along there 190 millimeters, and now work my way upwards, and I know the overall height is about 86, so I'll travel up as far as I think 86 millimeters will be, and I can measure then afterwards. So I need to go a little bit higher, as we can see. So there's my 86 there. Having done that, transfer that across, and then as we can see on this side, same thing, just extend it on. So there we have it. That's the box that it's going to fit inside. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by putting in my various lengths along the bottom. Okay, so starting with this length here, starting reading it from left to right, I am going to start off, it says 50, just mark the 50, and then it says 68, okay, so I can zero it again, 68, and after 68 I have 42, and then 30 should be left over. We can check our accuracy then. Yeah, happy with that. We can see 30 left over there. So 50, 68, 42. And now, having put in some lengths, I'm now going to put in some heights. On this side, I know it goes up 42 and 28. So 42. And then 28 actually brings us up to the 70. Just doing a little bit of maths there. Okay, and we can see we have a certain distance left over. Okay, but that's all we needed on this side. And on the opposite side, we had 28, 14, 16. So 28 plus 14 will be 42. Should we get that right? And plus 16. That should leave us another 28 at the top. Let's just check our accuracy. Yeah, happy with that as well. There's our 28 at the top. Okay, so there's like kind of little marks. You can see those little dots around it, okay? And I'm going to use those to help me complete it. So starting off with the Roadbridge, I'm going to start with the portion that kind of goes down, across here, up and across. Okay, start with that bit there first. So first of all, it's up the height. This portion here is up 28, which I've measured here. So I'm going to do a construction line across. I know I need it to go over roughly to somewhere about there. And what I do then is extend this one vertically up. Okay, from this point here, it's going to go up as far as the 42. Okay, and yeah, that should actually work out fine. So I can extend that across there as well, because that's 42 up, just a little bit further there. There we have it. And this point here, it says it's at an angle of 45 degrees. But because, look, this is 42, this is 42 up, it should meet perfectly. And we can actually see it does. So my measurements are accurate. So at that point there, I'm quite happy. From here, it extends over, it says at a distance of 44 millimeters. So that's another measurement I'm going to have to put in there. So I'm measuring 44 backwards. So I'm measuring from 44 back to 0. And from there then, what we actually have is a parallel line with this line here. That line there has an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, so this angle in here is 45 degrees. Just put in a little arrow there. So obviously from this point up here, it's going to project down also at 45 degrees. And that will actually complete the bottom portion of our logo. Okay, so I'll heavy that in now. Helps to make the drawing a little bit more clear. I'll start off by heavying in my horizontal lines. Heavy in my 45 degree lines. And finally, heavy in my vertical lines. So that's the bottom portion of it done. Now what I have to do is move on to the next portion, which is kind of up here. It kind of goes over, down and across as well. Okay, so we're going to start that there now. And to start that, I'll actually move up to the top here, and it'll actually just give us a start point. I'll heavy in one line. I know this portion right here is heavy from there to that point down there, which I had earlier. Okay, and what I can actually do is at that point there, I know it projects across a certain distance. Okay, and from this point here, I need to extend this one out. And I'll actually continuing it out, just looking at the drawing. And from this point right here, I need to extend that up. So just extend that up there. And from here, it tells us, okay, so we're going to need our protractor here. It tells us that, just finding my protractor there. It tells us that our point from right here, okay, projects up at an angle of 36 degrees. So with the zero of the protractor, the middle of the protractor, popped onto this point right here, and I'm going to use my T-square because it is on a horizontal line, and it helps me then zero in my edge. I'm going to project up from that point at 36 degrees reading this way. So 30 is here, 35, 36. I have my little mark there, okay, might be hard to see in the screen. But at 36, there we have it projected up, and there we have that portion that we're going to need in a minute. Okay, now from up here it says it goes at it measures out 36 millimeters. So I'm going to measure out 36. So there's my little mark for the 36, and then also it tells us from here, and this is important, yeah, I need to extend my line on. Okay, construction line. It tells us to measure out 20, and then it also tells us to measure out 68. Okay, so I need 88 altogether. Just make sure I have enough. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So from that point that I previously measured, I'm going to measure out 20, and then from there I'm going to measure 68. There we have it. And at that point right there, this connects up to this. And chances are it's probably parallel with this line down here. And it looks like it is. Okay, so that is it there. It's just a case then of connecting it on. And actually we have one more line to do, apologies, a parallel line. So with the sliding set squares here, actually we don't need sliding set squares, what am I saying, because it's parallel with this edge, which we know is 45 degrees. So from this point right here, I'm going to project down 45 degrees. And there we have it. That portion is right in there, as we can see. And now we just have to heavy it in. So once again, switch over to my darker pen, or marker in this case. So there's that portion there. Put in my horizontal lines. Okay, and then this guy here. And there we have it. That there is the Roadbridge logo completed, okay? And obviously we can see then it was made up of a series kind of quadrilaterals, okay? If you wanted, just to show you where you could see some of those, okay? Obviously this is kind of a long section here, but if you wanted, you could literally connect that to that, that to that, and you can actually see how it would be broken up into a series of quadrilaterals, okay? A little bit there also on using our protractor. So that angle there was also at 36 degrees. So we just use our protractor off that point, and obviously we can see we have a series of parallel lines as well running here. Okay, so nice little question there, guys, and we're going to move on to another question now on the rocket ship. Okay. Right, guys, so we can see the next question here based on the rocket ship. It's on page 66 of your World of Graphics textbook. The question says, question 9, the side view of the toy rocket shown below is made of simple shapes. Reproduce the diagram to the given dimensions. Okay, so you can see here they've kind of got like a little 3D kind of drawing of it, and we've kind of got the 2D side view line diagram of it here. And what we have to note first of all is that it is actually tilted at an angle of 45 degrees, okay, and at the top here it's the same. You can see the cone of it is at 45 degrees as well, or the top of it. And we can see here it's made of a series of triangles and quadrilaterals. Okay, so we kind of have a triangle here, we've obviously got a rectangle here, another triangle, triangles, and then a series of quadrilaterals down here and so forth. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is reproduce this drawing given the dimensions obviously shown. So we can see first of all, just work out, it's tilted at an angle of 45 degrees, okay, and the overall shape fits inside, we can see here, of a rectangle. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start off with first. I'm going to draw in that rectangle for it all to fit inside, and I know that rectangle is 80 millimeters long going this way, and then if I add up this, it's 80 plus 80, 160, it's actually 200 long, so it's 80 here and then 200 long here. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll put in my various measurements of 40, 40, 80, 40, and then the 20s and so on to be able to complete it. And we can see also the top here, it's telling us that it's at an angle of 45 degrees. Now chances are that line is going to be perfectly horizontal and this line is going to be perfectly vertical going down to get that little kind of triangle at the top. But what's important to note is the center line as well. Okay, so I'll start on that there now. So in doing that, I'm going to keep it a little bit lower on my page. So I'm going to start it quite low on my page here, just to make sure that it all fits in. So I'm up about 30-40 millimeters from the bottom of the page, and I'm going to construct a line starting off right here. Starting off about here. Okay, so from there, what I want to do is I want to measure 200 millimeters. Actually continue that just a little bit further. So from there I want to measure 200 millimeters. So from 2 back to the 0, or sorry, the 20 back to the 0 I should say. So from 20 to 0, there we have it. And then what I want to also do is project up now at 45 degrees this way. And I know it measures 80 millimeters this way, so I'll mark that 80. And now once again project up at 45 degrees. And having got the, make sure, yeah, happy with that, and having done the measurement of 200, I can now complete my rectangle. Okay, so we can see that's the rectangle that has to fit inside. Now what I'm going to do is put in my measurements as I go along. So the first one is 40 millimeters, so 40. The next one is 40 as well. The next one is 80, so just adding on another 80, and that leaves us 40 millimeters left over. Happy with that. All of those lines project down at 45 degrees. So I'll put them in as construction lines at this moment in time. And same with this one, yep. And also at the bottom here, I know that this measurement here, it measures in 20 millimeters, and then it also measures back 20 millimeters. So I'll mark them in. And that'll help me locate some other further points. I also have to find the center point actually. I might as well do that. So half of 80 is going to be 40. So mark that. And I know that's important at the top. Okay. That's a center line that runs down through it. About to there. Okay. And I'm actually just going to put this in. Sorry, I should have done this at the very start. Just to show you that that angle there is 45 degrees. Okay, so as we can see here, we have our rectangle, and we kind of have put in all our lengths this way, kind of 45 degree heights going this way. And now what we have to do is we basically have to complete the portion of the drawing. So the first portion, and we'll start typing it in. is I'm going to start with kind of the tail end of it, and I know at this side here, this line here is heavy, this point here down to here is also heavy, okay, and I know it connects to the center point right here, right there like that. And just to be sure, as far as I know, that should work out vertical, and it does. And this one should work out horizontal, and it also does. Okay, it's the same with the top up here, so this will work out vertical, and then this bit should work out horizontal. Now I know on the drawing it's saying 45 degrees, but you have to remember we drew this overall rectangle at 45 degrees at the start. Okay, so I can heavy in a few bits there, just start making this a little bit more clear for myself. So I heavy in this, I can heavy in this, I can heavy in the rectangle completely, there and there, and then finally I'm going to heavy in this portion here, the nose of it, and there we have that. And now what I have to do is I have to connect in between this space, I have to join the diagonals. Okay, so once again this should work out going horizontal, and then hopefully if my measurements are accurate, they seem to be, going vertical. Okay, so that's after helping me out there, and I know them lines connect the whole way, so I put in that as well. And I'll also add in this bit. So there's that bit, and you can see the shape taking kind of effect here. I can heavy in this bit, and finally this bit here and here. Okay, so at that point there's only one little bit left. We kind of have these little kind of little edge pieces here, which are marked up from the 20 millimeters that we measured previously. So I can mark them up there. So that 20 that I marked down here. Okay, I'm just going to mark it inside here to keep my drawing neat and tidy. If you wanted, you technically could do a construction line the whole way. I'm just keeping my drawing neat and tidy. And then finally, just heavy in the detail. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That there is the toy rocket completed, okay, at an angle of 45 degrees. At this point now you could obviously use a little bit of colour, obviously the same as they have on the sheet, just to obviously make it look a little bit better and actually make it look like a toy. Okay, hope you found that helpful. That is the question completed. Okay.